Moving on, this time to Uganda, where the Chieftaincy of Military Intelligence, that's the CMI, has said that it has arrested Howard Openjuru, the suspected leader of the Uganda Homeland Liberation Force. Now, a rebel movement which reportedly attacked an army detachment in Zombo, West Nile in July this year. Now, the reported attack in Zombo, which is some 485 kilometers outside Kampala, left at least 2 soldiers dead.
Now, in another attack in 2020, the same rebel movement killed 5 soldiers before fleeing back to the jungles of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, the military intelligence says that the operative tracked Openjuru from the Padia in West Nile up to Njeru municipality in Bokwe district, where the suspected rebel leader was intercepted on Friday evening.
Now, Openjuru had earlier been facing charges of treason at the General Court Martial, but on being released on bail, he allegedly disappeared and used his Facebook post to declare war on Uganda. There'll be lots to follow on that story. Well, moving on to more top stories this time again right here on Breakfast Central. We're going straight to Zambia, and this is quite an interesting one. Police in Lusaka, Zambia, have arrested an 18-year-old juvenile for allegedly shooting dead his 39-year-old sister. Now, Zambia's police spokesperson Ray Humunga says the juvenile Lusaka's Chalala area last night around 7:30 hours GMT shot his sister, identified as Zelipa, using his father's rifle while she was seated in the living room.
Now, Mr. Hamunga says that the deceased was shot in the head while she sat in the living room with another sister. Now, he says the murder case was reported by the suspect's father, Lyson Fury, who is age 70. Now, Mr. Hamunga adds that the body of the deceased has since been deposited at the UTH mortuary, while the suspect has been detained in custody and the gun confiscated. Now, joining us all the way from Zambia on this story is our correspondent, Lydia Makina. Welcome, Lydia. Now, tell us, what was the motive really behind this act?
Good morning to you too. As you have already narrated about the story that had happened, which is a sad story, so to say, for the young juvenile to shoot his own black sister in his father's house. But what everyone is so curious is to know what was behind that act, knowing that these people are really blood related. And the person that reported this matter is the father after having such incident in his house. The police spokesperson, Ray Hamunga, did not disclose what really happened between, or what really conspired between the brother and the sister for them to reach to that incident. So as for now, we say that I think the father did not really disclose everything, or he has remained not to tell the public what really happened between the brother and the sister. So the public really, we do not know what transpired, because the police did not tell us more details about it.
All right, so the father himself reported the case, but many questions have been asked, especially from people also elsewhere, that why was the gun in the house, or could it be that the father, perhaps in the army, wondering why the gun was in the house in the first place, how the juvenile got wind of that gun and used it on his sister?
Yeah, knowing Zambia very well, we do not really own guns in our houses. Most of the citizens do not own guns. So really that is so surprising to find out that why they had the gun. So perhaps it should be for security purposes, and for him to have the gun, that means he was given a license for it. So he had a license for it, but he was not in the army. He's not a police officer or related to it. But maybe he had the gun for security purposes, and the gun was given to him. I mean, he had a license for it. So maybe what we could just wonder is that why the boy knew where the gun was. So we see that there was closeness between the father and the son for him to know all that particular, that there's this at this particular place. So otherwise, for him having a gun in his house is maybe for security purposes, but he was not in the army, or he was not a police officer.
Right. Now, Lydia, looking at the Juvenile Amendment Act of 2011, what does the law of Zambia say about this peculiar case?
This is an 18-year-old person, and he is an irresponsible person, and he's not an 8-year-old boy. If he was going to be an 8-year-old boy, we could say the law could favor him with the counseling and what, but him at looking at his age, he is responsible for what he did, and the law definitely will charge him with murder. So he is going to be charged with murder because of his age. He's irresponsible for his act. He's not an 8-year-old person.
Right. So it looks like you might not really categorize him as a juvenile anymore, being that he's 18. Well, Lydia, and going forward with this case, do you say the father could perhaps be held accountable for not securing the firearm?
As I said earlier on, because know that this is the person that could be held responsible for his act, as well as we see that the father was the one who reported the matter to the police, so he is not out of it. He may be the owner of the gun, but he secured it in his bedroom. He did not leave it elsewhere in the living room, in his bedroom, and the son went to his bedroom to get the gun and this is
all right.
That
well, thank you so much, Lydia Makina, our correspondent in Lusaka, Zimbabwe, this one for giving us that story. Quite a sad one. 18-year-old shooting dead his 39-year-old sister.